Okay, hi boys and girls. I just wanted to make this video to help you review some of the questions that I received in an email. So far you have learned the volume of now 4 different shapes. So those shapes are a rectangular prism, a cylinder, a cone, and then a sphere. Now, I'm not a very good artist, but I will try and sketch these for you so you know what they should look like. So a rectangular prism is really just like a box, but a 3D version. That was pretty awful, but you get the picture. A cylinder looks like this. It's almost like a can of soup. A cone is like an ice cream cone. And then a sphere. This is the worst one that I'm awful at drawing, but bear with me. Okay. Now, each one of these have a formula that hopefully you have learned while you were watching the videos that were assigned daily. So a rectangular prism, the volume formula is length times width times height. A cylinder is pi r squared h. A cone is 1/3 pi r squared h. And then a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. So those are the different formulas that you are going to need to use. They will always be provided for you. That's why I had you each day first open up the reference sheet so that you can use it. Now, in addition, you have to be able to find the volume. So I do want to do a few example problems with you. So what that means is let's start with a rectangular prism. So let's say a question asks you to find the volume of a box. So here's your box. In order to do that, you have to be given the 3 things: the length, the width, and the height. So let's say your length is 6, your width is 3, and your height is 5. Using your formula, all you have to do is do 5 times 3 times 6. Put that in the calculator. Now, some of you don't actually have a calculator available to you, but your Chromebook has one. If you just, hold on one second. If you click this button over here, and then you have a calculator on your screen. Now, if you don't see it here, like if you look, mine's over here. Well, you can't really see it. You can open it up, or you can just type calculator and we'll open up for you. Or on the top of the Haiku page, there is a scientific calculator link that some of you might like better, but whatever. So the 3 numbers we wanted to multiply was 5 times 3 times 6. And that equals 90. So the volume is 90. Now, I didn't add units, but let me show you what it would look like if there were units. Let's say we were measuring in inches. Then, yes, you multiply 5 times 3 times 6, but you also have inches times inches times inches, which would mean your volume is inches cubed. Okay, let's try a cylinder. Now, again, we would need to know 2 pieces of information. We need to know the radius for r and the height, which is h. So let's draw this cylinder that I'm not that great at drawing, but whatever. Let's say the radius of this cylinder is going to be 3 and the height of the cylinder is 10. Sometimes, instead of giving us the radius, they're going to tell us what the diameter is. And from last year, you should know that if your radius, let's say, is 3, that means your diameter is 2 times your radius. So your diameter would be 6. Sometimes they'll give you the diameter and ask you to find the radius, so you have to take half the diameter to get the radius, but that's on some problems. So you have to read, obviously. Okay, so for the cylinder, our formula is pi r squared h. So I'm going to type V equals pi, our r is 3, squared h. So that's what it looks like. Now, the questions that you've been seeing ask you to express your answer in 2 ways. The first way is in terms of pi. If it says in terms of pi, uses that language, then you're not actually going to multiply pi. You're just going to let pi hang out and you're going to multiply these numbers. So again, you can pull up your calculator. You can go to the calculator that I shared with you on Haiku and just multiply 3 squared times 10. So 3 squared I know is 9 times 10 is 90. So this value equals 90. And we're not going to do anything with the pi. We're just going to bring the pi down. Now, in math, we don't write pi then a number. We write the number then pi. So really, this should be v equals 90 pi. Now, that's only if it says in terms of pi. If it says what to round to, that means you actually are going to multiply the pi and the 90 together. And we aren't actually going to do that in our heads at all because pi is an irrational number. Instead, we're going to go to our calculator. And again, you can use the one on your Chromebook or you can use the one on Haiku. I'm going to clear the screen and I'm going to do 90. And there is a pi symbol hidden. Oh, here. 90. Oh, sorry. So you want to do 90 and then multiply that by pi. And then press enter, wherever that is, equals, sorry. And you get 282.743338823. Now on the problems that you are completing, it's going to tell you what to round to. So for right now, let's round to the nearest tenths. So I'm going to go back to the page and just write this whole number down to start. 282.7. So let's say it's, your volume is 2. I already forgot, let's see. 282.74. So 282.74. Now, that right now is hundredths place, but I need that hundredths in order to get to my tenths place. So to round to the nearest tenth, I want this to be my last number, and I just have to look next door to see if the 4 is greater than or equal to 5. It's not, so that means that the volume is going to be, sorry about that. The volume is going to be 282.7. Okay, so like I said in the beginning, the volume of a cone is V equals 1/3 pi r squared h. So in order to complete this problem, we need to know what our radius and our height is. So I'm going to draw a cone. And let's say that your radius is 6. Oh, let's use pen. And let's say that the height of your cone is going to be 4. Now we can take that information, we can substitute it into the formula. So we have V equals 1/3 pi, our radius, which is 6, squared times our height, which is 4. Now again, you have to read the directions. If it says in terms of pi, we're just multiplying all the numbers together. So what we can do is let's multiply this first, and then we'll multiply it by the 1/3 in front. So really, this is pi times 1/3. We can rearrange that, times 6 squared times 4. So you can put all of this in your calculator. I'm going to multiply this stuff together first. So 6 squared is 36. So we have 36 times 4. Now you can do this in the calculator. It is 144 times 1/3 times pi. Now let's say if it says in terms of pi, we're going to still keep the pi there. We're just going to multiply these two numbers. And when you do that, what I would say is go to your calculator, do 1, let's clear this first. 1 divided by 3, because that's what a fraction is. Press enter, and then multiply it by whatever the number is, 144. So then multiply it by 144 equals, and we get 48. So I know 1/3 of 144 is 48. We bring down our pi, and that equals the volume. Now, like I said the last time, we always put the number written first. So the volume is 48 pi. And then if there were units, because I keep forgetting to put the units, let's say it's centimeters, it would be 48 pi centimeters cubed. Now, if they said to round, let's say the directions say round to the nearest hundredths. We are actually going to take the 48 and multiply it by pi. So bring up your calculator again, clear it, and let's do 48 times pi. And we get 150.7964. Okay, now it's hundredths place. Our hundredths place is right here. That's the hundredths. So the 9 is in the hundredths place. So what that means is I have to look at the 6. If the 6 is greater than or equal to 5, I'm going to raise the 9 up. So since 6 is greater than 5, this now becomes 150.80 because we had to raise it up. And that is centimeters cubed. And that is the volume of a cone. Okay, last but not least, we're going to do volume of a sphere. Volume of a sphere, again, your formula is V equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Okay, so let's say we have a sphere. And this time I'll tell you that the diameter is 18. So what you have to know is that your radius is half of your diameter. So if your diameter is 18, that means that your radius is going to be 9. So if we take our radius and substitute it into our formula, we end up with 4/3 pi 9 cubed. Now, same thing. If it says in terms of pi, you're not going to multiply by pi. If it says to round, you're going to multiply everything they give you. So first I'll rearrange, and I'll do pi 4/3 9 cubed just to put everything kind of next to each other. I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to do 9 cubed and then times 4/3. Okay, so to find out what 9 cubed is, you're going to have to use your calculator, or some of you know that it's 9 times 9 times 9. So go ahead and put 9 times 9 times 9 in your calculator, and that gives you 729. We're going to end up multiplying that by 4/3 and then eventually by pi. So 4/3 of 729. So 4 divided by 3 times 729. Oh, I guess I didn't do it right. 4 divided by 3 equals times 729 equals, and we get 972. So we go back and we have 972 pi. Again, that's if the directions say in terms of pi. If it doesn't say in terms of pi and it tells you what to round to, you need to round. So now we're going to multiply 972 times pi. So I'm going to multiply that by pi, and that gives me 3053.6280 and so on. We're going to round to the nearest tenth, so 3053.6. And again, whatever your unit measure, your units are cubed.